You want to know a wild stat? Since becoming the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, Mike Vrabel has won 23 wins as the underdog, and they picked up their 23rd on Sunday against the LA Chargers. And they did this thanks to tough-nosed physical football. We know that Mike Vrabel's teams are always going to compete, and yet again they did so. I mean, they were down 11-0 early to start this game, and they're at home. A lot of new pieces in this offense and even defensively, but they held tough. They got key stops and they pulled out a win in overtime. Big kudos to the coaching staff and also just overall for the Tennessee Titans. Ryan Tannehill, as much grief as we give him, he's still a pretty solid quarterback in this league when given time, and he found receivers. He had a rushing touchdown as well. Deceptively fast. I want to say that Ryan Tannehill, a little bit faster than what we think he is. Not saying he's Lamar Jackson by any means, but he's faster than what he looks like. I saw that running touchdown, was a little surprised there. The Chargers though, this is another bad start. 0-2, they haven't won since December of 2022. Brandon Staley's seat should be piping hot right now, and he's getting out coached on a weekly basis now. It's 3 weeks in a row, even 4. And one of them was by Nathaniel Hackett. He will be out by the end of the season. The Chargers, they are too talented to be 0-2, and they're too talented to be this sloppy. Justin Herbert gets a lot of grief for what happens for the lack of wins. Ever since entering the league, the Chargers offense has been one of the most potent offenses in the NFL. They score at a highly consistent rate. The only thing is they get outscored because their defense is super leaky. You have names like J.C. Jackson, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James. These are great individual pieces, but for whatever reason, they don't mesh well together. This Chargers defense has always been its Achilles heel, and that's what Brandon Staley does. He's a defensive coordinator, or former defensive coordinator from the LA Rams. Back in 2020, once they were looking for a head coach, the Spanos family had an option to pick up Brian Daboll. You know, he's the OC at that point with the Buffalo Bills. Or they decided to go with Brandon Staley. They went with the latter. At the time, it was the cheaper option. They maybe wanted to pluck away a guy from Sean McVay's staff. They're crosstown rivals. But you have to look at offense. I love defensive-minded head coach. I love defense. But right now, the trend is you need offensive-minded coaches, especially when you have a really good, talented quarterback like Justin Herbert. This offense isn't going to be the same. We know that Mike Williams will get hurt eventually. That's just a given. Even Keenan Allen gets hurt every now and then. Austin Eckler missed this game. Their offense is hanging on for dear life to score points, and the defense isn't showing any type of resistance, especially in key moments. They gave up a 27-0 lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars last year, and Staley made a big statement saying that there's no carryover to that. That may or may not be the case. They are not getting it done. They've been a consistently poor team in late game situation that reflects on the coach. And not to beat a dead horse, but it just seems that Brandon Staley's holding this team back. And not to beat a dead horse, don't want anybody to lose their jobs, but when your calling card is defense and they're one of the worst defenses in the NFL, you need to go. So I think the best thing maybe to keep things in-house, you go with Kellen Moore, maybe one of the best new OCs that are on the market next offseason, depending on how it shakes out, because they're wasting the prime of Justin Herbert's career. They need to really maximize it, because right now he's heading into those bulky cap numbers, and this division is going to be with Patrick Mahomes for the foreseeable future. He's not leaving the Kansas City Chiefs. You have to find a way to beat the Chiefs. And right now, 0-2, way too talented. They'd be lucky to sniff the playoffs at this moment, but again, a disappointing start for the Los Angeles Chargers.